My name is Kehinde Popoola, or Coco Popz, and I've got one child. So I'm a civil servant by day. By night, I am a personal trainer, online coach, content creator. So my journey has never been straightforward. So I had my daughter. She's nearly 11 years old. I had her in 2015. My journey into motherhood I think it was quite difficult because I really struggled, and I suffered with postpartum depression as well, which I got support for. I had a great support network, family, friends, everything, but then it all kind of turned on its head when my dad passed away in 2019. He struggled a lot with his mental health, so he actually took his own life. And that was a really rude awakening. It was really rude in terms of I'd never experienced grief before. Before I had time to process my dad passing away, my mum passed away as well, it was really difficult. And it did start to feel like everything was falling apart, and I genuinely felt like things wouldn't and couldn't get worse. I split with my daughter's dad shortly after sort of burying my mum. It was just too much. And then in 2022, I was diagnosed with a myxoid liposarcoma on my left hip. So it's a very rare form of cancer, but they caught it early. I had radiotherapy and I had surgery. And it's just completely changed who I am. I don't know who I was before, but I feel like a little bit more certain in who I am now because of those experiences. I would have said I was fine. I think the issue with me is that I will always say I'm okay and I'm not. And I think it's super important to have the right people around you because they will know you're fine. They will hear you even when you don't speak. The problem was I didn't really have that sort of at home. My parents knew, my siblings knew if I wasn't okay, and they knew I didn't have to ask. But the problem is we didn't live together anymore. But I would just say I was fine because I don't like to ask for help. I never want help. I just want to try and navigate on my own. But if someone asked me how I was, I would say I was fine because I think I wanted to believe it for myself. I don't know what could have helped. I am very stubborn, and I find it difficult to accept help. And I think that I have seen in the past that it makes me feel like I'm weak, and I know that's not the case, but I would feel weak by asking because it would almost imply to me that I wasn't capable of doing it by myself. The people who were around me knew and just acted anyway, which is why I sort of will reiterate the point that it's important to have the right people around you in sort of those environments. They did, but it felt a bit tick boxy, if I'm honest. It felt like you're doing it because you have to, not because you want to. And I think it'd be really beneficial for a lot of these healthcare providers, medical professionals to actually treat you like an individual. I wasn't listened to a lot when I was having treatment for cancer, more than anything. Outside of that, I think when I had postnatal depression, they were good in terms of referring me, but then you've just got the cut-off, you've got to get it out in a certain number of sessions. But what if you need sort of support beyond that? When I had cancer, they did offer therapy, and I did take it, and it was helpful, but again, I was sort of cut off with a certain number of sessions. And I think healthcare professionals tend to forget that you see hundreds, thousands of people in a week, in a month. So to you, I'm one of many, but to me, you're one of one. I don't have anyone else outside of this, so I'm really relying on you to help me. But if you feel like you're not being seen, you're not being heard, you're going to learn to distrust those professionals. I definitely didn't trust myself after my diagnosis because I was doing everything I felt was right. I was eating well, I was exercising, I didn't smoke, didn't drink excessively, and I still ended up in the situation I was in. So I had no one else to trust but the medical professionals. So when it felt like I wasn't being listened to, I started to doubt myself even more. I think it's difficult to say how they could have done it better because there's so many people, and you do feel like it's you do feel like it's tick boxy, and you do feel like you're just a number, you're just a hospital number. And you sort of see when they walk into a room and they hold up the paperwork and then they read your name off and mispronounce it. So you feel like this is a tick box, because if you actually cared, it felt like if you actually cared, maybe read my name on the paper first, then learn to pronounce it before you come in. So I feel like you're speaking to me and not speaking to the hospital number on the paper. I had a terrible pregnancy. I was sick all the way through. They were good during my pregnancy experience. I contracted an infection, and it was irritating my uterus, and they were really responsive. I was seen very quickly. All through my pregnancy experience, I was fine. But when it came to actual birthing, I had waited right until the point where I couldn't take the pain anymore. My daughter was late, so she was 8 days late. And I was really stressed at that point because I just wanted the baby out. When I went to the hospital, I said, I can feel the baby coming. I've been at home in pain for a few days, and because the contractions had got closer and closer, I only called and said I was coming to the hospital when I couldn't bear the pain anymore. I believe I've got quite a high pain threshold. And my waters broke at home. And then I was driven to the hospital by my brother. When I got to the hospital, they said, you're not dilated, we're going to send you home. And I just said, no, I don't want to go home. And I was screaming in pain, and they weren't listening to me. And my daughter's dad had said, well, she doesn't want to go home. And they said, well, she's not dilated, so you have to go home. So while they were sort of getting me ready to go home, I could feel the baby coming. And then when I was literally, I had to scream down the whole ward. I screamed the whole ward down. And I just said, this baby's coming. And then they came in and they were trying to sort of remove my underwear. And I was just just rip it. I don't, at this point, I don't care. I just want the baby out. And they said, oh, there's the head. And I said, there's the head. And you were ready to discharge me. And if I had listened to them and not myself, then I would have given birth to my child probably in the elevator. I wouldn't have made it out of the hospital. And it was really sad because I tore quite a bit, and it was difficult. They discharged me within a couple of hours of me having her, to kind of go and fend for myself with this new child. I didn't know what was going on. And I think because it was so abrupt, I think I kind of felt like I was just really overwhelmed. And I got quite depressed quite quickly because it wasn't anything to do with her. She was perfect, but I felt like I was the problem. Sorry. It's okay. I remember feeling like I was so inadequate. And I drove her to the petrol station to get petrol, and I nearly left her there. And now that I kind of look back at it, it wasn't her, and I felt like it was me. I'm glad I didn't. Thank you. Do you know what it is? I've never said that out loud. I've written it down. Yeah. I've never said that out loud. Oh. Do you need a green one? No. Yeah. This is a raw story. It's just because I've never said it out loud. I've always known it. But because I've never said it out loud, it sounds really crap. But I know it wasn't me. I know it wasn't me. And I can say that she's the best thing. You go behind me. Yeah. Ooh. You ready? Yeah. With my daughter, because I thought it would be this I actually thought it would be this magical, I love you immediately, and they talk about this thing of this instant love, this instant bond, and I can't lie, I didn't feel it. I think because the birthing experience was so traumatic and I tore and it felt like I was just sort of sent away, I don't feel like I had that moment. I remember I had to give birth to her like on my knees because they said it was just more efficient, which was fine. And then by the time they kind of pushed her through to see me and I saw her face, I was like, oh, hey, you. But I didn't feel that instant connection. I thought there was something wrong with me, not necessarily that it's not as instant as some people sort of say. And I don't think I felt it for a while. And it's not that I didn't love her, I just didn't feel that strong like connection that people talk about. Breastfeeding was really hard as well, so I felt like I was again failing as a mum, because why is something so basic as being able to breastfeed so difficult for me? I should be able to do this. Why isn't she latching? Is it because she doesn't love me? Did I do something wrong? And I've always internalized when anything goes wrong, I think that I'm the problem. And I think that has also kind of translated into why I always feel like I need to control things, because if I'm in control of it, if it goes wrong, I've only got myself to blame, and I won't question myself as much if things have gone wrong. I really struggled with my body image after, because I was always quite big, and then I lost a lot of weight, and then I gained weight, and then I lost weight. So I was in this really big yo-yo phase, and I was actually the slimmest I'd ever been at that point before I got pregnant, and then I put on 5 stone. So I was really struggling with image, body image, and then feeling like I'm like this because I've made the decision to have a child. And then I wanted to kind of take ownership of it, and I had a wedding where I was a bridesmaid, and all the bridesmaids were size 0. And then when we went to the fitting, I was the biggest one, and it really triggered me. And when I had to kind of lock in with my fitness, I found that I started to feel better about myself. I've got a very strange relationship with fitness, but I love it now. And I really wanted to look good, and I wanted to feel better. And I think as I've kind of gone through the motherhood space, navigating different challenges, be it grief, be it cancer, and overall just navigating motherhood, because first and foremost, I am a mum. What I've realized is that my mental health being at its peak is what is beneficial to my child. I run a lot, I lift a lot, and I do all of it because it makes me feel good and it makes me feel whole. And the reason why I have to do those things to pour back into myself is because if I don't, no one else will. And my daughter needs me whole. It doesn't matter the version of me that she sees, but I'm trying to make sure that it's the best one that she sees. Today, I go to the gym a lot. I went to the gym this morning and I loved it. It's me time. It's time where I can kind of set my own goals and I can do what's good for me. And I also run a lot. Last year, I ran London Marathon. This year, I'm running Hackney Half. And it's a very beautiful, liberating feeling to be able to do things that make me feel good. I let my daughter witness everything I do because I want her to see an example. I want her to see me and just be like, that's my mum. And I think when you are talking about building a legacy and you're talking about leaving an impact, I want her to be able to look long after I've gone and say, my mum was incredible. I didn't always get on with my mum. And it's now that she's not here, I actually understand pretty much, I want to say 50% of the stuff that she did. But I accept the other 50% because she was a human being. But I think I just got so caught up in her being perfect that I didn't actually give her grace to just be her. And now I think I want my daughter to give me a little grace to allow me to be me and let her see me make mistakes, but also see how I recover from those mistakes because I'm just a human being. My ultimate goal is to protect her, but I have to be realistic as well because I think too often we're shown all the glorious parts of motherhood. We're shown all of the perfect stuff and what perfection is supposed to look like. But in those quieter moments, she has seen me cry. She's seen me weep. That really deep pain. She's seen me, and it's not ideal, but we don't have anyone else. It's just me and her. But I think it's just important that she sees how I can pour into myself to recover from that. It's okay to struggle. You're just doing your best. With all the information you have, you're doing your best. And if you're not okay, reach out to someone you love that loves you. I wouldn't even talk to her. I'd give her a hug. She was misguided. She was doing her best. And she wanted everything to be okay. And this version of me that I am today, I would hug her. Sometimes you don't need words. Sometimes just a hug. I'm a hugger. I would give her a big hug, and I'd give her the type of hug that would reassure her that it's actually going to be okay. It's actually going to be okay. Yeah, I'm good. This is too. No, I'm okay. Yeah. Oh, do you know what this is? It's reflective, and I think when it means so much. When you have been through so much, and you can sort of sit on the other side and say, actually, this is who I am. I wouldn't change any of this. I wouldn't, because everything I'm doing now is because of those experiences. And when you, like I said, like, the point of life is to leave something that will literally live forever. And if this can help one person, if one mother doesn't have to experience the feelings that I experience, then it's all worth it, isn't it? Oh, thank you. Thank you. But for you to do this, you had to have experienced a certain level of pain. And there's a certain level of power that you have to be able to put your own feelings aside and create a space for mums that is so important. Both outcomes, one of them being you take your pain, you hold it and you never revisit, you look it away in a box. But to take that and to channel it into empowering other mums, you can't put into words. So thank you. Ask a mum, how are you today?